Are you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivered this deep six.
This is our WWE Royal Rumble prediction show, and I am joined by Pete Moxley. Pete, we are here tomorrow. Royal Rumble begins the road to WrestleMania.
We need to thaw out here in the United States. Not even from where we're from, but it is cold almost all over 50 states here in America, man. It's cold, but we get to warm up.
7 degrees right now in Comac.
Yeah. I think we're minus in the wind chills of -7 maybe at this point.
It feels like 0 out here. The wind chill is 0 degrees on Long Island right now. And but let me tell you, like you said, it may be frigid outside, but WWE, the wrestling world, is heating up, and we're about to get into the best season of WWE, which starts tomorrow, the WWE Royal Rumble. I can't believe we are back here already for yet another Royal Rumble. This is about my 33rd or 34th Royal Rumble that I get to watch. So I'm very excited. Been watching the Royal Rumbles since 1994.
Kicks off the road to WrestleMania.
Yes, I'm going, baby, Vegas. I don't know if the WrestleMania logo or whatever sweatshirts they produce is going to be as nice as this one that they came out with last year, but we'll see.
You start the GoFundMe for next year, man?
I don't even know.
I mean, dude, you know, we talked about this, I think, last time, and SmackDown was tonight, and man, the crowd, the stadium that was just built in 30 days to fit over 25,000 people. What an amazing backdrop. What they're going to do for Mania next year is going to be unbelievable, probably even more on a grander scale with the city as the backdrop. But that crowd, you know, remember the first time they were in Saudi, and I don't know if they were in Dubai or something like that at the time, and they were all like princes and kings or whatever that were sitting in the crowd, and you're just like, this is the worst thing possible. And you have some of the most passionate fans that are loud as anything, singing every single note to every single song, basically, for everybody that came out.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was in Jeddah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it like just varies by area, to be honest with you.
I don't think they knew the product really at the time. I mean, you're going back years ago. And
well, they didn't know about the product. They wanted Ultimate Warrior versus Yokozuna for their main event. They definitely didn't know about.
They wanted Andre the Giant to come and be in the ring. He was already dead like 20 years at that point, man.
They wanted Hogan versus Andre too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to do the trilogy. Oh boy. Those of you guys that are watching, we are sponsored by www.backsportspage.com. That is www.backsportspage.com. For those of you guys that want to catch up on some good sports journalism, if you are a New York Giants fan, sorry for you guys, but you can find all the different interviews, podcasts, and New York Giants. You can also catch the Cut Pro Wrestling podcast to catch interviews with old, past, and current independent wrestlers from around the world. And also yours truly, the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. You can catch our content there on www.backsportspage.com. Check them out. But we have a prediction show to do.
And it's the most unpredictable Royal Rumble ever. Pretty much, I would say.
You think so?
Yes. There's so many ways that you can go to the road to WrestleMania at this point. We went into almost every Royal Rumble saying this is the definitive guy that's going to win. Like Jey Uso was the surprise. But
Yes, I agree.
between me and you, I picked Jey Uso to win last year, and it was in our small chat group. And you and our boy Jason Caller thought it was crazy to pick Jey. But I just saw the way it was trending, the way the crowd was going, that they were going to pick him last year.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely gained a lot of momentum for sure, and he still has the fans behind him, but the title run just wasn't really all that great afterwards. Sometimes more money and more fun in the chase.
Yeah. They strapped the rocket on him, as Triple H said it. And unreal.
Another Royal Rumble that was kind of like that was unpredictable, that caught me by surprise. The 1 year is when Rey Mysterio won. I was at the Royal Rumble for that in Miami 2006, and that caught us by surprise. And I didn't see Alberto Del Rio coming with that win either in 2011 in Boston.
I mean, that was you talking about years ago, but recently, I mean, you knew Cody was going to win. The setup him versus Roman 2 years in a row. The whole storyline. It's something that we've been seeing a trend of basically knowing who's going to win. This year is just, I don't know what you want to talk about first. If you want to talk about the men's Royal Rumble first, or if you want to talk about, the matches that are on that card for tomorrow.
Let's go with the men's Royal Rumble first. We posted a short video about it. It was about less than 3 minutes long of the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast top 5. It's a thing we call now Top 5 Fridays. Every Friday we'll be doing a top 5 of whatever. So today was who do you think the top 5 male WWE wrestlers that could win tomorrow night's Royal Rumble? So I actually had a couple here of what I thought my top 5 was going to be. Number 5 with Brock Lesnar, and then I had number 4, Roman Reigns right there. Number 3 is a possibility, Cody Rhodes, and number 1 and number 2 really close to me. Over Femi, number 2, and Braun Breaker as number 1. Number 1, number 2 for me. Very close.
Yeah.
That was kind of just a rehash the short. We're going to get a little more depth in it.
No way.
You started off. Who do you think is going to win?
There is no way Oba Femin's going to win it. He's going to have such a strong showing, but I don't see them doing that with Oba on his very first match. It would be a total shocker. Could he? Yeah. I mean, you could write anything in wrestling nowadays, like you said, Cody Rhodes. It could be Jacob Fott too. The way they're writing him lately. Gunther's in this match. And, we can get about this until later on versus AJ. We've seen before, the way things are written. You go back to like WrestleMania 10, Owen Hart beat Bret Hart. And later on, Bret Hart won the biggest match of the night versus Yoko and took the title. That's something that we can see, something like that later on where AJ, something happens. He beats Gunther, and Gunther ends up winning the Royal Rumble. I don't see that happening, but he's going to be a threat, no doubt about it. Roman Reigns, there's talks about maybe him and Punk, maybe. Braun Breaker, for the most part, I pick Braun probably winning. Are they ready yet? Is he ready yet? It could be a triple threat match later on. It could be Braun, Roman, and Punk in a 3-way match. But we haven't seen the payoff yet of Roman and Punk. So Roman could be a very strong possibility. I don't see Roman in the Elimination Chamber. So it could be pretty interesting. Could it be Roman or could it be Braun Breaker? To me, those are the two guys that are probably neck and neck. I think we're going to see most likely Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Most likely, Randy Orton could be a dark horse. Him versus Drew could be a possibility. Another great match. Looking forward to seeing Trick Williams in this match. He has no chance of winning the Royal Rumble, but getting those lemon pepper steppers, I think he's going to have a good showing. They've done a lot with him. There are some people that I think are going to be a surprise in this match. There's a few people that weren't announced. If you want me to talk about them, I can talk about them right now. Seth Rollins doesn't have to wrestle. If he's cleared enough to be in the Royal Rumble, then send somebody over as number 30 or whatever, being in the top, last 5 or something, he doesn't need to wrestle until almost WrestleMania at that point. He could be a surprise. The reason why I say that is no one said it from Monday Night Raw. Austin Theory could be a plant. He did the curb stomp on Monday, and I didn't hear a word anywhere in in the IWC world, the internet wrestling community. He did a curb stomp at the end of that match, dude.
It was a pretty good one.
Yeah, dude, and it's just like, how they plant seeds. I think this might be a seed. He not really. He was matching tonight with the Vision, but that night you could see he's wearing different colors somewhat. Everybody's wearing black, and it's the little things sometimes that you see. I would not be shocked to see that happen, especially we've already been tricked by Seth Rollins before. He did have surgery, but he could be cleared just to do the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised. That's a dark horse pick of mine, all right? We could see Royce Keys, Hobbs in this match with a good showing.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the surprise entrants.
He could be.
Surprise, not surprise.
Yeah. You hear Mr. Iguana might be in the match too, just the entertainment factor. The reason why I say that is I think someone's going to be taken out. And Finn Balor is going to put himself in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And I don't know who it's going to be, who he's going to take out, but there's going to be somebody, and I have a feeling we're going to see Finn Balor. And that's the other dark horse. My 2 dark horses that could win as a shock and a surprise is Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. People are saying Chris Jericho could show up. I don't think Chris Jericho's not showing up till a while. Reason why is his band is touring. Fozzy is touring the UK in the next couple of weeks. So he's going to be on the road with his band. He also has the Jera Cruise coming up. And he could show up more towards WrestleMania or the night after on WrestleMania, I'm thinking. I just think people are so thinking that he's going to show up, that his contract at one point is up, but he's still on the AEW roster page.
Yeah, if he's on the AEW roster page, he's not showing up.
Yeah. So, my picks are between Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker. We could get a surprise with Jacob Fatu, but I doubt it. But my 2 dark horses, dude, that could show up that haven't been announced is Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
Okay, so just because you just said it, with Chris Jericho, I don't think I think he's legit still in the AEW roster. I would not expect him, but the fans really want to know if Chris Jericho is coming or not, if he's going to show up on a particular night. Just go on the AEW website page and look up and see if Chris Jericho is on there or not, because AEW takes it very seriously who they put on their roster page. They update that quick and right away. One thing I do want to look up is if, and I didn't look it up today, but we'll get into the females in a bit. But anyway, so you have the chance and potential of Roman Reigns possibly winning here. But I do feel like it would be kind of forced in a way. I mean, yeah, you can use the Royal Rumble as an excuse to get him into number one contender and start a program. Yes, I get that, but I feel like it'd also be kind of forced just due to the fact that we haven't seen Roman Reigns on TV for a little while, and the last time we saw him, he was taken out by the Vision. So I feel like he does have unfinished business with the Vision, which could pay off right around WrestleMania season or WrestleMania itself. Um, as far as Cody goes, I don't know if you saw the. As much as I love Cody, I think they should take a break from Cody as far as winning the Rumble. They should not do Cody this year, for sure. I don't know if you noticed the fans from Saudi Arabia booing him pretty big. Um, with the no chance. So I don't think the fans really want that right now. And a lot of the IWC is starting to complain about it very little.
Yeah, they all wanted to
Um,
turn heel, and there's been little hints, and there's been a
yeah,
lot of seeds planted of Cody Rhodes showing some heel tendencies, and we've seen that with him and Drew.
yeah,
That was another thing with Jacob. You watched that match with Jacob and Cody said a lot of things that made him sound like the heel over Jacob when he was saying about, oh, you were incarcerated and all this, and he was just putting down Jacob, and Jacob's just like, I'm a man that fought hard to be where I am for my family. He sounded more like a Rhodes than Cody did at that point.
yeah.
And that could also lead to maybe Jacob versus Drew at Mania. But I don't see that as a selling match, though.
No, I think what you got here is you could definitely do Jacob Fatu as the Royal Rumble winner just to kind of give the fans a little bit of a break. You have 3 months to build this match and to insert Cody into a triple threat match at WrestleMania if you want to go that route.
Mm-hmm.
So you have time to build that. You don't have to force it on the fans right away. You can kind of slow build into it, do a triple threat, and it would be a banger it would be a great match. It would be a good match.
We have the Elimination Chamber.
Not to mention, he also does.
Is it automatic that you have to go to the other title? Can you go and say, no, I want to go after Drew? And meanwhile, Jacob's already picked Drew.
So I think the way they're going to book it is the Royal Rumble winner will pick whoever they want to fight.
Yeah.
And then say if Drew is chosen after Saturday night, then you got to figure that the Elimination Chamber is going to stem with Raw superstars, I would think.
It's usually split, right?
Yeah. They usually do that. I mean,
yeah,
I've seen it in the past where an Elimination Chamber did not decide like a main event for a wrestling.
Yeah.
But this has been like an every year thing now, pretty much.
But I mean,
if Drew's chosen, then you got to figure the men's match more than likely will be Elimination Chamber.
But we're so used to the Elimination Chamber guy going against for the other title. But to me, I think they can pick who they really want to fight. I mean, it's wrestling. You can make up any rules that you want. And at that point, he can say, no, I want him, and you're in that match, and I want you too. And it could be a 3-way battle. Just saying this could be like Cody Rhodes, Jacob versus, the 3-way dance or something like that at Mania. Just to give it a little bit more star power. And, they've done that before, 3-way matches, a 3-way match at Mania, and the smaller guy, the lesser known guy ends up winning and beating the bigger 2 superstars. We saw that, with the women's, with Io. She was kind of like, the underdog, and you're just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's the best wrestler you have. And, she overcame, when it was Bianca and Ripley, and they were just kind of like putting her down. And meanwhile, she's the one that came out over top. That's just something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about Cody Rhodes' possibility, Jacob Fatu. Yeah, this is not, definitely the way to go there. But we also have one of the most anticipated. Can't say exactly his main roster debut because he did debut on Saturday's main event, technically. But Obafemi officially up on the main roster now. Where he's going to go, my question is why they've kept it a secret this time. But again, they just have been advertising for the Royal Rumble, not for Raw, not for SmackDown. Because maybe, quite possibly, as they've been putting these vignettes on TV, they didn't have an exact definitive of the creative direction they're going to go with him as of the Royal Rumble, in my opinion. I think Obafemi is going to have a big year for sure on the main roster. I believe he's going to be a world champion this year. And it's also been on record saying that there is a big match lined up for Obafemi at WrestleMania. What that big match is, who knows? Could be Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Maybe Oba is the one who eliminates Brock Lesnar if they want to do that. But then there's also been the rumor, as you alluded to before, that Gunther and Lesnar once again has been talked about. So you could see Lesnar and Gunther go at it there. But I think me and you both agree is that Obafemi is going to have a big showing. I think he's going to probably throw out, let's just say 8 to 10 guys. I think he's going to throw out 8 to 10 guys at least. I want to say he's going to be in one of the final four or, final four guys or very close to it that's left in the ring. Breaker's going to be there. Roman Reigns going to be there. Cody and Oba, probably my final four, to be honest. But a lot of people saying LA Knight, I'm like, I don't know.
He could show up. I think he's probably going to show up. LA Knight's going to show up.
He's going to have a win.
I think there's so many guys that are ahead of Oba right now at this point to be in the title picture. They're talking about LA Knight. He's going to have that battle with the Vision. And I don't see LA Knight winning. But they're talking about strapping a rocket on him too, that he gets the crowd reaction. There's still something missing, I think, with LA Knight. It's growing a little bit more recently, the connection, but there's just little things that he misses still. And it's just like, oh man, you just missed out on that, or you hesitated at that point to really grab the crowd when you could have grabbed the crowd. I think you still got to introduce Oba to the fans of the main roster.
The thing is, though, he had a really, really good ovation on Saturday night's main event. These fans know who Oba is. He's been on the NXT roster for 2 years, and I get not everybody watches NXT roster, but a lot of people do. So he was pretty well received to the point where the next day, every single person, like I can't even tell you how many TikToks I saw with everyone doing the Oba strut. And then the background music, it was crazy. It was like every other reel on my feed. Like people are loving it. Like he's got an aura behind him. Like if you wanted to make a star right away, like that's the way to do it right there.
That's how I walk into the gym every morning, man, from the car.
5 a.m.
It's so cold out from the car at 6 o'clock in the morning or so.
Wilson.
Going back to Oba, it's easy to eliminate him in a fashion that he's brawling with somebody and they both go over the rope at the same time, just fighting with each other, and it could set up his next match, at the next pay-per-view or whatever. To me, you still got to introduce him somewhat to the crowd. I know Cody one time on the main roster. He'll get a good reaction, but there's still that thing that you still have to connect him to things, and it's not there just yet. But coming out of the box and winning, that'd be ridiculous.
That would be crazy. And I feel like Lesnar. Look at Brock Lesnar. He got the Brock Lesnar push. I feel like this guy, Obafemi's got more character, more charisma. You're talking to Mike. He may be, I don't know if he's going to be built as a heel or a face, but I think he can go.
You got to remember that Brock also had a lot of squash matches, and then he had Heyman as his voice man.
Yep.
And it was a fast build, but he had those matches that introduced him to the crowd and stuff like that helped him be like, oh my God, this guy's nuts. This guy's
That's
ridiculous. He's a
that's why
beast.
WWE needs to bring back enhancement talents from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we
So,
need that, and it also just cuts it. It gives us a break from seeing the same people almost
yeah.
every week. So it's
So,
not as bad as it used to be.
my pick would be Braun Breaker to win everything. The more we talk about these other people,
Yeah,
you kind of forget about him.
Braun Breaker
Yeah. You're number one. Yeah. That's
was
what
our
I'm
number
saying. Most
one, but
people
very,
are
very, very
thinking
slim
Braun
margin.
Breaker. So to me, it's Braun or probably Roman, but I'm going Braun. And then my dark horses are two people that have not been mentioned: is Seth Rollins showing up and
Yeah.
Finn Balor.
So, a dark horses for winners or just being in
Yeah.
the matches?
No winners.
I mean, okay. At least is a better excuse to see Finn in the championship match than just have him lose his way. We losing matches for like the last year.
Look what
And
they
then-
did with them on Raw. This past week with him and Adam Pearce. And then all of a sudden he attacks Punk at the end. After you thought, okay, Finn's gonna go babyface, and he's gonna leave the Judgment Day, and Liv says something to him, and it lights a fire, and then he's talking to Priest, and Priest, Adam Pearce. I'm sorry, Adam Pearce. Scrap Daddy there is just like, there's no room in the Royal Rumble for you. I mean, well, people are still being introduced being in the Royal Rumble. And it's just like, everybody's like, what do you have against, Finn Balor? I know, it's wrestling, everything's scripted. Okay, these guys could already be in the match and not announced. But, like I'm saying, I think Finn's going to show up, and him and Punk, that's who we went after. That could be a setup to the road to WrestleMania for all we know.
It could.
Could be the shocker.
It could. It very well could. I don't really see Seth Rollins, considering that his injury is a for. So his injury on the low end of his surgery is a 6-month recovery.
Yeah.
So that we're 3.5 months in. I don't see him even being at the Rumble. I see him staying home or staying backstage taking care of Rue.
He's daddying.
I think he's daddying this weekend. I think I'm going to believe him when he says it himself on ESPN, and I'm going to stay home.
Oh, come on, because he said it.
But we'll see. But maybe he is there. I mean, I don't know how he feels about his wife being alone in Saudi Arabia, but anyway, I don't think, my point being is I don't think we even see Seth wrestle a match until at least Mania or maybe the night after.
So I'm saying
maybe Brock Lesnar. Braun Breaker, in fact, does win the Rumble, wins at WrestleMania against Punk, and then Braun has a break. Now you have an easy program right then and there.
Yeah, SummerSlam.
Seth Rollins waiting for you.
Yeah, like I'm saying, it could be a dark horse surprise.
Braun had a great match with Punk.
Yeah.
And he showed up, I thought, to the point where Braun was probably going to win that match because the storytelling was so good that night in Brooklyn.
Yeah, but like that was planting the seeds to see how the crowd will react at that point, and they were hungry for it. It's so funny, like everybody's hungry for a title change right away, and it's just like, you got to let things breathe a little bit to tell the story. And like, even more lately, the WWE fans are just like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And it's just like, you got to tell the story. You got to remember, look at the Bloodline story and look how popular that was. It took time for it to breathe, to tell the story. And Punk's one of those guys, and he knows that. It's just like, Triple H knows it. It's like, listen, Braun had his shot. Let's see now. Let's build that up. That's why I'm picking Braun to win. But I'm just saying we could be a shocker.
There are other possibilities. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not like
Seth is going to have his match against the Vision and stuff like that. And like I said before, I think there's planting of the seeds with Theory maybe being with Seth and being sent to that group to undermine things, just to keep an eye on what's happening, what's going on. And I think the curb stomp was a big part that wasn't even talked about. So
yeah, no, absolutely. So that being said, we'll move aside from the Royal Rumble match. I think we pretty much covered everybody there. we have Drew McIntyre defending his title against Sami Zayn. Now, you know the country of Saudi Arabia is going to go wild for this match with Sami Zayn having ties to Saudi Arabia, whatever it is. I thought, Sami Zayn was all Canadian, but apparently he has ties to Saudi Arabia, maybe family descent or something. I don't know. Didn't care to look into it, but he is going to be a crowd favorite there, a big crowd favorite there tomorrow night, which if you're in Saudi Arabia time, technically it's tonight. But anyway, and I expect it to be a very good match there. Could there be some brouhaha in this match, outside interference? Maybe. I'm probably expecting a little bit more of a clean matchup here. Probably Drew cheating to win. See, do we have? Here's the other thing too. I mean, with Drew, all year they were booking Sami Zayn, planting seeds throughout the whole entire year. Like, I've never been world champion. How many times have we heard that? How many times have we heard?
I'm gonna say that.
I've never been Drew McIntyre. Like, if we get Drew, like having Drew and Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble, pretty much takes away the possibility of us getting that return match, at WrestleMania now, because it was the perfect setup. They had the perfect setup there for Drew to have Sami Zayn, but now I feel like that's been kind of taken away. They want to do it at the Rumble.
He's 11-0 versus Drew. He's 0-11 versus Drew. He hasn't had one win yet. It's going to be 0-12 after this match. Do not see Sami winning at all. I think we're going to get a great match. I think we're going to get a really, really competitive, great match. Very, very hard hitting.
Now,
Sami could have a match with anybody. You always hear he could have a match with a mop and put the mop over it. Sammy's one of those guys, man.
Now, this could be the beginning journey of maybe Sami Zayn getting a title run later on this year. This could be the beginning of that journey.
2024 was his year. 2025 was his year. 2026 is his year. Every year, like you said, he's like, I haven't won a world title yet. Oh, this is my year. This is my year. And Sammy's peak was with the Bloodline story. And, it kind of petered out for a while. But then all of a sudden he's up in Canada and he's the biggest guy in the world because it's his hometown crowd and they go nuts and they go crazy over him. Sammy's beloved all around the world. But there's certain places, you can plug in Sami Zayn and be like the biggest person that's ever been on the WWE roster. And this is why he was put in over here at Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, because they knew that they would go crazy and nuts for him. That's their boy. Kind of like, when he wrestles in Montreal or Toronto and stuff, that's their boy. The northeast area of Canada, that whole Quebec area, that's Sami Zayn's area. So it was smart booking to put him versus Drew in this match. But you want to make Drew an even more hated heel. He beat Sami.
Yep. For those of you guys that are watching, we've been talking about the men's Royal Rumble, the championship match. We're about to talk about the ladies coming up, and AJ Styles versus Gunther, which we'll do AJ Styles versus Gunther next. But for those of you guys that are watching, drop your comments. We want to hear who you think will win the WWE Men's Royal Rumble, Women's Royal Rumble, and who your winners are for the matches of AJ versus Gunther and Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. We're just talking about him. I almost forgot his name. What's the time start? The time start tomorrow is, if you're in the United States East Coast, 2 o'clock. Saudi Arabia time, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. in Saudi Arabia. It was so odd.
No, it's not, man. I was listening today. It was Pete and Rosenberg, I believe, on Pro Wrestling 24/7. He was on Busted Open, actually, I believe, talking with Dave LaGreca and Bully there. He was saying that over there it is so hot during the daytime that their time schedule is a lot different than ours. Their go time when they leave their house to go out for the night, it's almost 10 p.m. So we heard the crowd tonight. You go out 10 p.m. and you start a wrestling event at 10 p.m. now, and like Bully was even saying, rock stars, when they go on at 10 o'clock at night, the crowd's almost like dead. They get quiet. You got to be out of there. You got to be on stage, or you got to start your wrestling event, at 8 o'clock, the latest at that point, in the States. And like, if you're a rock band, your main act better be on the stage by 9 p.m. Just to keep that crowd going and alive. And meanwhile, over there, it's totally different because they're out in the middle of nowhere, the desert, where it's so hot. They're indoors, and they're ready to rip and raw by time the sun goes down at that point. And it's cool. So they say it's a little different, the nightlife there.
Yeah, that would explain it. I really had no idea what their hours were as far as the weather goes. That's really intriguing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that makes a little bit more sense now. But moving on, talking AJ Styles versus Gunther, it was reported about 2 to 3 weeks ago, as per Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, that AJ Styles' contract ends around the first week of February, which I'm led to believe that once the clock strikes midnight, Saturday night into Sunday, AJ Styles' contract is more than likely over. But we don't know any further details than that. For all we know, injury time could have been added on. I don't know if AJ was injured. I don't think he was, so I don't think that's a factor. It's quite possibly that AJ Styles, behind the scenes, has agreed to a little bit of extension to work for more than likely for the rest of this year. But so as of now, it is hard for me to book past tomorrow night, knowing that the possibility of, in fact, AJ's contract has run out and there's no deal for him to re-sign. So it's hard for me to book past Saturday night, knowing that. Now, the way everything has been booked for AJ Styles lately, he's got a tag team title run. He had that with Dragon Lee. He got to have some great matches. He had a match with John Cena. He had a match with Finn Balor, CM Punk, all within the last couple of days, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Was AJ Styles on his retirement tour all this time, and we didn't know it? I mean, he's been on record. He says 2026 he's going to finish off. He never gave us an answer when, but he said in 2026. He didn't say he was going to give us the whole year, none of that. He was just very vague about it. 2026, I'm ending it. Do you think he could have been on a retirement tour all this time and we really didn't know it, just so that it wouldn't also take away from John Cena, what he was doing?
I hate that saying, retirement tour. What? Who needs a retirement tour? You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. John Cena. Who's bigger than John Cena? We expect now at every point, because now we're coming to a point where all these guys are a certain age. It's going to happen with Punk at some point, and within the next 2 years or something like that.
2 years. If
AJ Styles,
Seth is live. Lesnar's on his way out.
Seth's going to be around for a while. Roman's getting there towards the end. Brock is definitely there right now. Even though he shows up every once in a while. We go back, dude. We grew up on wrestling. How many retirements did Terry Funk have? We look at AJ. I swear, AJ's arms get bigger every month. He's a beast man now. You see him standing in the ring tonight, and it's just like the dude's rock solid. His arms just keep getting larger and larger, man.
AJ Styles can still work. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I know.
So I want to ask you this.
He's better than 85% of anybody out there. 90% better.
I want to ask you this. Okay, should AJ Styles win here? However that happens, how do you book him?
The only way I see,
you have Gunther losing clean, or
no? The only way I see AJ winning this match is getting his handed to him by Gunther. Whether Gunther gets caught and it's a DQ that way, or it's a ref stoppage, and he does not stop. And he just keeps beating him down, and the ref says, hey, automatic disqualification. Or you could see a rep bump and being disqualified at that way. The only way I see AJ winning this match is by disqualification. I think this is the last match we're going to see of AJ Styles in the WWE. As sad as that is to say, and yeah, he's saying he's in the ring, he's like, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's a performance. He's saying these things to get you going, to get your heart believing. But he's also performing. He knows it. You know, his last match could end up being in New Japan, or it could be in TNA. There's no way he's going to AEW. Not this short of his career. But he could end up going back to New Japan for a match or two. But, you know, who does he go against in his last match? That's the thing. You know, there's been the seeds planted that if he still stays in WWE for a short period of time, that he could still have his match versus Kazarian. So the seeds were planted there with Kazarian. And I could also see him ended up in TNA and taking the title for a short period of time off of Mike Santana. Even though Mike Santana's the guy right now for the company carrying it. But being on an AMC, dude, having AJ as a champion would be awesome.
Let me ask you this. I mean, yeah, it looks like AJ's last match is tomorrow night, in my opinion, just based off of what we know. That his contract is potentially ending tomorrow after Saturday night, midnight. But somebody a friend of mine brought up the possibility is, you know, how CM Punk had that promo with AJ Styles. AJ Styles is like, I want to be a world champion again. And, Punk is like, I don't know why you're doing this on Monday night. I don't know why you want to, like, agree to these kind of terms. You have so much gas in the tank and what have you. So somebody brought up a point, and it makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense because of the season that we're in. And you know how title matches are usually determined by Royal Rumble winner or Elimination Chamber and what have you. Does it have to be Elimination Chamber determining, a title match? No. But anyhow, that's how WWE is usually doing. But what if CM Punk's obviously got nothing to do? He's got nothing to do. What if he comes out and is, maybe rooting for AJ Styles or what have you, based off of what we saw and Punk selfishly interferes in the match by hitting AJ Styles with good intention, just to end the match, causing Gunther to be disqualified, and AJ wins.
You can't do that. You're making Punk turn heel at that point. The crowd's going to be like, "What the heck? Boo!" You're going to boo the heck out of him because he just hit AJ Styles. They're both crowd favorites.
Yeah.
There's zero sense of a Punk coming out and hitting AJ Styles because he wants him to stay. Come on.
It could be a way to start the program with them, and I get the whole heel.
Is your friend Vince Russo?
I get the whole face heel dynamic there, but I'm just sticking away. Like, you're not gonna have Gunther lose clean.
Who's booking this? Tommy Dreamer?
Could be. But anyway, I actually thought it was a pretty good idea because you don't have to determine, a title match with the Elimination Chamber. So say if the Royal Rumble winner chooses Drew, you don't necessarily have to have a Raw Elimination Chamber match for a Punk's title. You can do it just based off of a feud if you want. They could do it that way, but I considered it like an outside chance. But it was just an idea. But more than likely AJ Styles is losing here.
The only way he's winning is by, I would say, disqualification. It can't be a roll because you're going to make Gunther look weak, and you can't do that because you're building up to be a monster right now. And he's going to have the face-off later on in the Royal Rumble. Him and Brock, they're going to go face to face for the very first time. And the crowd's going to go crazy once they do the stare down and punches start getting thrown. The crowd's going to go crazy. And like I'm saying before, that's easy to eliminate two guys right away at that point because they're just brawling and going at it. And next thing you know, they're on the floor and they're still going at it all the way to the back or whatever, and then all of a sudden Brock's gone again until almost Mania.
But what happens if the plan once again is not going to end up being Gunther Brock Lesnar? What happens if it's over 50?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said before the same thing. The easy way to eliminate Oba, still making him look like a monster, is brawling with somebody. Somebody pulls him over the top rope or whatever at that point. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's not that he's being thrown over because that just makes you look weak. It's always crazy when there's like, oh, they got 10 guys throwing the guy over the top rope, but mostly when you do that, it's a guy that's like almost or something like that.
I was just thinking that. I was like, almost is going to be there.
When you had Yokozuna in the ring and stuff like that, or like the Battle Royals when you had Andre the Giant back in the day and stuff like that. What they do, everybody in the ring would be going after the guy, But yeah, so. But that's the only way I see AJ winning this. And, people always say, oh, he's retiring. It's his last match. Yeah, his last match in WWE. It's wrestling. Guys would lose. You don't hear the term no more, loser leaves town at all. You don't hear that match anymore. It's retirement or whatever, But you used to see matches all the time for a guy to leave a company. And AJ already said, this is my last year in wrestling, yeah. But this is his last match. If he loses this retirement match in WWE, it doesn't automatically say, hey, I can go wrestle wherever I want to wrestle because I already said I'm going to retire in 2026. Yeah, I retired from WWE.
Those of you guys that are watching, please feel free to leave comments. Let's see who we got here. Who do you think will make a? Oh, okay. Who do you think will make a surprise appearance? We can definitely talk about that. So
we already did.
Really quick.
Is it just the men, or we're going to talk about the women's? Because there's a couple of surprises I have there too.
Yes. So really, let me reset here really quick. Those of you guys that are watching, feel free to hop on the YouTube. If you're watching through YouTube already, great. If you're watching through Instagram, switch over to the YouTube because we will probably run out of time on the Instagram side. So make sure you switch over to the YouTube. So, and we have 13 minutes with the Instagram. So be sure to switch over to the YouTube if you haven't already. Okay. I don't want to spend any more than 2 minutes on this part, but surprise appearances, I'm going to shoot off the names that I got. And then Pete, I'll have you do that too. For the men, I think we're going to have Dolph Ziggler. Let me see. I don't really have anybody for the men, but I'm thinking.
I don't want to talk about the women yet because that's part of like talking about the whole women's Royal Rumble. We've already talked about the men.
About the women after that. So yeah, the men's surprise appearances. I really don't think I have anybody except for maybe like Dolph Ziggler is really the only name that I had on my list.
Well, we've already talked about it. I said the surprise
appearance was Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I said that. I think we're going to see Will Hobbs as Royce Keys.
Yeah, surprise, not surprise.
Well, yeah, it's still a surprise because it'd be his first time appearance. But do you want to make him look weak by getting thrown over the rope at this point? How do you want to introduce him? But he could still be the surprise.
I think you introduced him by. I think you probably introduced him just by having him come in and costing somebody the match by hearing.
There's talks about Mr. Iguana showing up from AAA. That could be the surprise. Me and you both basically X'd out Chris Jericho. I know they're still talking about it because they want the excitement for Break the Walls Down.
Once again, those of you guys that are watching, feel free to check out that AEW roster before the Royal Rumble starts and see for yourself.
And the last guy I said that could be a surprise, could also be the surprise winner who's in the company is Finn Balor.
Yes, by taking out somebody. Yep.
Yeah, so.
Moving on, we have the women's Royal Rumble, and then we'll talk about the surprises there because I think there are a little bit more surprises on the women's side, or it could be potential fantasy surprises on the women's side than I really see on the men's side. But the women's Royal Rumble, so this one is a little bit. Notice I didn't do a top 5 on this, Pete. I did it just for the men because I have a very good reason for it. I think the Royal Rumble winner is going to be between two people. With one to answer Jen's question about surprise. So it's not really a surprise anymore because she was seen walking through the airport, but it could be with potentially the returning Bianca Belair
That
or
totally.
Liv Morgan. One of the two. They're heavily talked about to win. I think you got to go Liv
Who?
Morgan here.
Liv Morgan. She's not going to be the surprise. Are you thinking
No,
Tiffany?
no.
Tiffy
Hold on.
time?
No. I'm taking a step back. Taking a step back.
Okay.
Let me reset here. Bianca Belair is one of the surprises. Not so much a surprise anymore, but she'll be returning, and I think it's going to be between her and Liv Morgan being the winner.
Winners. Okay.
But now that you mentioned it, I don't really even think it's much of a surprise. I mean, Tiffany's just kind of been out, just looking at wounds and just kind of relaxing and healing up a little bit. But I would expect Tiffany to make her return. Oh, let's take a step back. Men's surprise appearance. More than likely, Chad Gable, Dominic Mysterio coming back. That's
I don't know. I don't know about Dom because you haven't heard too much about him. But I think we might see two
intentional.
Two El Grandes Americano.
Yeah, that's intentional. I think Dominic not being here much about him. I think that's intentional.
I think I don't expect Dom really. I'd be surprised to see Dom. That's a surprise. But I think I wouldn't be surprised to see two Grande Americanos showing up.
Imagine one and two.
Yeah.
Hold on,
that face off.
Not to mention, you have Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne as the other Americanos. Yeah, the four of them.
Well, no, they're Rio and Rayo. Yeah. No, I'm talking about Chad Gable and as one, and
Kaiser.
Yeah, Lugu Kaiser is the other one, and they would do the Spider-Man meme.
Yep. I think that's happening. I think that's absolutely happening. But as far as the women goes, I got Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair
exactly like I started with the Bens. It's unpredictable, dude. We do not have a definitive person. Now you got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. I know they're the women's tag team, but they could easily win. My pick is Liv at this point, but I really think Bianca Belair is going to be the winner. And my dark horse is going to be Chelsea Green.
Yeah, see, this is why I was a little bit mad at the winner last year, because Charlotte was gone nearly the whole entire last year. She comes back and wins a Rumble right away. I mean, Liv has just been, she was out for a small period of time, but to begin the year last year, she was on fire. She's got momentum going into since Survivor Series, and she's got momentum now.
Yeah,
you figure Roxanne Perez is gonna have a great showing. I mean, Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley and Io are gonna defend against Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, possibly, maybe they start a program with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. So those names that I just mentioned are kind of tied into things. Right
Roxanne ate the pin the last two matches.
I know, but she's been on a roll all year. Unfortunately,
let me get this out of the way. It's funny how the women have to dress in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
and
they'll look like
they have the most skin tight outfits that show off their curves even more than probably some of them wear when they're in the wrestling ring, with showing a little skin.
I know Roxanne Perez on SmackDown tonight, but I digress.
It's just like, yeah, I guess they're supposed to hide, but it's just like
it's not really hiding.
You look at Tiffany Victoria coming out tonight, and it's just like, okay. They watch wrestling and they already dress the way they dress. They're already watching it and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm kind of laughing. And it's just like, and just seeing them do the media tours, and it's just like it's crazy. It's just like they've relaxed on their rules so much over there. That's like kind of probably the next step. I wouldn't be surprised at some point that they allow WWE to let the women dress a little bit different, maybe going into WrestleMania next year over there. But there's so many good women, but I noticed the trend, and it was kind of said about tonight. everybody has somebody going into this match. Ripley has Io. Liv has, Roxanne and Raquel in her back pocket,
Live,
Oscar and Kyrie,
Nia Jax.
Lance Legend
Nia
and
Jax.
Nia Jax. Julia will probably have her girl in the back with Kiana James probably there. It always seems like somebody, you have Becky Lynch in this match too. Charlotte's in it,
Yeah, Bailey's in it, and
Was it meant? Yeah,
Kara.
Bailey's in it. You didn't hear that Natty's going to be in this match. I don't think they're going to debut the new character, but she could come out and cost Maxine Dupree
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
build up another match.
Yes.
But
They've planted seeds at some point, and we haven't seen it yet. With Liv Morgan against Stephanie Vakir, so we have not seen that match yet.
Yeah.
They have planted that seed, which is why I think Liv Morgan could be the winner too.
But there's also been the talk for a long time before Bianca got injured that the match was going to be her and Jade, most likely going into WrestleMania.
I know
I think that's going to be our two matches. It's going to be Stephanie versus Liv. And I think the other match is going to be Jade versus Bianca at Mania. So how we get there, whether it's through Rumble or Elimination Chamber, I think either girl is going to win one or the other.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, Jade, they really gotta send, and this is a little side note, but they really gotta send a couple ladies over to the SmackDown side, or they have built up the tag division very well, and I get it. The WWE Women's Tag Titles were like an afterthought for a long time, and now they've made importance to it. But they've used up their whole entire current women's main roster, to build up that division to the point where Jade barely has any challengers. So it almost makes a little sense to maybe have. Again, your Elimination Chamber is next month, and you can have either girl, Liv or Bianca win. But Jade is going to need a new challenger, because I don't see Jade and Jordan Grace going to Mania.
Or they do like they did last year with Jay, and they strap the rocket on the hardest working girl that gives up everything. It doesn't matter, and she loves it no matter what, because she's an entertainer. She doesn't care about wins or losses or how she looks. She only cares about the entertainment, and more people need to see this on the men's side and the women's side, that it's we see Unreal. We see how things are. We're wrestling fans, but we also know things. Is Chelsea Green. She is my underdog pick. It's just a matter of time where it's just like
she deserves much more than Unreal was letting on.
People love her. You know what I mean? Even though they're not to the point of like they still take it a little bit as a comedy act to an extent with her. But I think there's going to be the point where they're ready to get behind her to put her to that next level. And with Unreal, with Michael Hayes saying what he said, listen, and it's so funny because listening today again to Bust It Open, Peter Rosenberg is saying, and Bully also said the same thing. The wrestling industry is built on lies, and Unreal is a work. We are still being worked as fans on a reality show. There's things they want you to see, and there's things they don't want you to see. Michael Hayes could have said what he said to build up Chelsea Green going into 2026, saying, oh, she's just the girl that's the mid-carder that's ready to move the girls up into the top tier.
Yeah, it's possible, because listen, I mean, Jade Cargill needs more challenges on that side. Really quick, Instagram has 30 seconds left, so if you're watching via Instagram, switch over to our YouTube channel.
We got it in
on the YouTube channel. That is, but make sure you switch over to YouTube, as we have a couple more minutes left, and the Instagram is going to run out. And while I have a second, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we will be back tomorrow for sure. So one last thing.
Goodbye. No.
No, not yet. No peace. No peace. Let me see. It's 12:01, so technically the Royal Rumble is tonight on the. But anyway, today, 12 hours from now. Jeez. Anyway, so I'm gonna screw that up tomorrow. Anyhow, surprise appearances for the women's side. I think the most talked about. Pete, I think you probably know what I'm about to say.
JC Jane?
No. I mean, there's going to be some NXT call-ups, so I don't really consider NXT call-ups for this one night as a surprise. But Paige, how about Paige?
She's been training a lot lately, but there was also something put out there about somebody in AEW mentioned. I forgot who it was. It kind of planted a seed about her going back to AEW. I don't think so, but she could show up because she's been training hard. Paige could show up. That's a good one. On the NXT side, I think we're going to see JC Jane, and I think we're going to see Blake Monroe show up. Both of them were.
How about Trish Stratus?
I don't think so.
How about Molly Holly, Mickey James?
No. I don't think
the reason why I say that because those seem
there's
to
less
be
women. There's less women listed on the who's going to be in it. I'd be a little shocked to see Trish Stratus, Mickey James, maybe, but I don't think she's
still waiting for.
She's not going to get the pop. Trish Stratus would get the pop.
Yeah,
I don't think Mickey James would get the pop there. She's still, as far as I know, TK is still going to keep her down, under the injury clause type deal that he likes to put out there, man. I don't think she's going to show up right. There's been no rumors about her, showing up or anything like that when her contract's up. But I think we're going to see Blake Monroe make her debut on the main roster, but still be in NXT. But both girls were not in NXT this past week.
How about Sol Ruka?
She wasn't on TV either. I think she's going to be the other surprise. Is going to be Sol Ruka.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 NXT women. I think they're going to show up.
To those of the guys that are watching, just to rehash our predictions, pretty much is Drew McIntyre. I think Pete and I were mostly in agreement for the most part. With Braun Breaker, with the possibility of Roman Reigns or even a Finn Balor maybe winning as a dark horse, and maybe a potential surprise appearance with Seth Rollins. Who knows? I still think he's going to be sitting on a couch with this.
Doesn't need to wrestle.
He doesn't need to wrestle.
He needs to dump somebody over the top rope.
And as far as the women goes, I think we're pretty much in agreement that we'll have either Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Quite possibly Bianca Belair being the favorite, just to have the comeback story.
Yeah, I'm going Bianca, and I think Liv's going to win the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. That is all I got, Pete. Any last minute comments?
Yeah, we could have ended on Instagram.
yeah, we ended on Instagram. But anyhow, those of you guys that are watching, we will be back on air tomorrow nights because I think after the Royal Rumble.
Wait. Kathy Kelly looked great tonight.
I actually did not see her tonight. Your wife. Your wife. For those of you guys that don't know, Pete Moxley is actually dating Kathy Kelly. You guys are not supposed to know that, but this is the truth. Pete's waiting for Kathy to come home. But anyway, I digress. Those of you guys that are watching, don't repeat any of that, please. I'll get in trouble. Anyhow, we will be back on air, I would think around 4:00 p.m.-ish tomorrow. If you figure the Royal Rumble's going to end around 3:30, 4 o'clock at the latest. I need about 45 minutes to an hour to get back to my house and reset up with everything. So I would say about 4:30 the latest. We will be live. And we will be talking about what we saw on the Royal Rumble, and we'll have more clarity of where we're going as far as the road to WrestleMania goes. I can't believe it, Pete. The road to WrestleMania 42 starts tomorrow.
This is probably the most quietest Royal Rumble that we're going into, but I think it's the most unpredictable Royal Rumble, which makes it interesting. I think as we're getting
this thing at the last minute.
Yeah, I think what was that?
Because nobody knows what's going on. They booked this.
That's what I mean. I think now it's also interesting. I think it's interesting now. People are here the week of, oh, I got no interest in it. But I think people are like kind of like, wait, what's going on? What's going to happen? I don't know. I got to watch this now, and now they've seen the stage. They've heard the crowd on SmackDown. They see how everything looks. Everybody's making fun of how fast they built that stadium, and it's just like, dude, they do that for cricket around the world, dude. How they build these stadiums. They did it over here in on Long Island in Hempstead when they had the cricket. It took a couple of months because of OSHA, but it's amazing. A makeshift stadium, and they're gonna tear that thing down right afterwards. They're not going to leave it up for Mania next year, and if they do, they're going to add to it. They're going to make it even bigger to have even more people in that place.
Yeah,
but how cool is that backdrop, dude? And I knew it how badass it was gonna look. And when it debuted, everybody's just like, "Oh my god, that stage is amazing with the backdrop of the city."
For us to see that on SmackDown, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean San Diego this year too, man, looked beautiful. Having the city in the backdrop, some of these stadiums that they've been doing, Perth, with the city in the backdrop, it's just that there's some things that they've done lately with the backdrop, but you don't need just the stage being the prop.
No,
the city's the prop.
WWE should run a show in Pittsburgh because of that in the summer.
Yeah.
Speaking of all the crap that's happening in Minnesota, guys, don't be surprised if the WWE SummerSlam gets moved if Minnesota doesn't shape up what's going on over there.
They're going to go to Texas.
WWE pay-per-view could very well move to, who knows, maybe Texas, maybe they run it back in MetLife. I will not doubt it. If for some reason they do, at least you heard it here first. But it's a prediction. But
it's even going to Gillette. It's even going to Gillette, maybe.
That's the reality of what's going on in Minneapolis right now. It's so bad, and you could see the stadium in the background, and everybody's rioting.
Yeah, and, but the thing is, it's two cities. It's two cities. It's St. Paul, right? Where is SummerSlam? Is it in Minneapolis or is it in St. Paul?
Minneapolis.
Okay, now
where the Vikings play.
Yeah, but it's not in the dead center of the city, like around the arena.
Yeah.
Are they?
Oh yeah, they are all over there. Yep.
Yeah, I know they're all over, but I wasn't sure if they were in that part of the city or not.
In that part of the city.
Yeah, that part of the district. But
it's not a huge city over there, but
yeah.
Anyhow, so
don't worry. When the Somali documents come out and the Epstein documents come down, all the chaos will be quiet by then.
Anyway, I gotta go eat some banana rice. Catch you guys later. Have a good night. Peace.
I gotta go sleep.
Agility from the champion. Oh, G6! That could be a